It's still May, y'all, and I'm still talking about being a mother. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day. If you pour into a child, you are to be celebrated on Mother's Day. I'm playing this song because this song always makes me think of my princess baby girl, Anastasia. So I thought I would play it today because I'm going to talk about mothers talking to their daughters, but talking to them about something very specific. Hope everyone's had a good day. Hope everyone is doing well on this Monday. She's my darling girl. She changed my world. Anastasia changed my world. So I have something very specific to say to mothers today regarding their daughters. So, what do I have to say? Hello, husband. He trying to get me all flustered, y'all. But I have something very specific to say to mothers today. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I know many of you spent time with your mothers. Many of you know that my mother passed away about almost 25 years ago. And so I want to talk specifically today about, hey, Mrs. Brown. I want to talk specifically today to mothers about having conversations with their daughters. And I want to speak to a place from the fact that my mother passed away when I was 25 years old. I was about to have my second child, and I did not know my mother's health history. Let me say that again. I did not know my mother's health history. I was almost 25 years old, about to have my second child, and I did not know my mother's health history. It is so important, mothers, that we talk to our daughters about our own health, because I cannot begin to tell you how many times I went to a doctor and they asked me questions, not just about myself, but about my family health history. And yes, they asked me about my father's history as well. But mothers, it's so important that we talk to our daughters about our health history, because doctors ask specific questions about our mothers. And when we can't answer those questions, it's a guessing game. I have been asked if my mother had a history of miscarriages. Why? Because I was having miscarriages. I've been asked if my mother had an issue with fibroids. Why? Because I was having issues. And yes, these are female issues. They may be personal. It may be difficult to talk about these things, but for the benefit of our daughters and their health and their daughters' daughters and your granddaughters and your great nieces and whoever comes after you and whoever you're connected to, we have to talk about our own health history. My mother passed away from a massive heart attack. Her mother passed away from a massive heart attack. And so doctors, when they ask me about my health history, I don't know I have no idea. It's so important. I was able to get information after my mother passed away about some of the doctors she was seeing, but I didn't know any specifics. And to this day, I don't know any specifics. I'm guessing. And so I implore you, if you are a mother, if you have nieces, talk to them about your family health history. If your own mother is still living, and I know it can be a generational thing, that maybe my mother was older, she didn't want to talk about the things that she had been through, but it's so important. Why? I have a daughter now, and when she goes to the doctor, they ask her about my health history. They ask her about her grandmother's health history. So I share my health history with my children, because I don't want anything to ever happen to me and my children are playing the guessing game. It might not be easy. Why? Because as women, we know doctors ask questions we may not want to answer. They're going to ask you as a woman, and I'm being transparent and real, have you ever had an abortion? How many miscarriages have you had? How many live births have you had? All these things are important for medical history. They're going to ask you, I'm of an age now. They ask me, when did your mom start menopause? I have no idea. I have no clue. They ask me certain things about my mother's health. Did she have high blood pressure? A very basic question that I should be able to answer. Was she pre-diabetic? Was she having issues with swelling? And was she having issues with high blood sugars? All these things, I have no idea. And so it's become very important for me to not just share my health history with my son, but to also make sure that my daughter knows what her mother's health history is. Because if she ever has a baby, they're going to ask her, what kind of pregnancies did your mom have? Were they full-term births? Did she have complications in delivery? Were you in the NICU? Were there any issues? As a child growing up, did you have any broken bones? Did you have anything? There have been questions that have been asked of me regarding my own health history as a child that I don't have answers for, that I don't know. I needed a hip replacement, and I'll just use this as an example. I needed a hip replacement 5 years ago, and I had been struggling with my hip, and I had been having a lot of pain, and I had been seeing doctors for years, and I had been sharing that I thought something was wrong with my leg, and my leg was crooked, and I had been saying this throughout my childhood, and nothing was done, and it wasn't given any credence. And when I went to get a hip replacement, and I went to the doctor, and I was getting x-rays, and I was getting MRIs, the doctor asked me, did you ever have an injury as a child? Because this looks like an injury from childhood that maybe was never treated, or maybe it wasn't treated fully. And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. And I started calling people that maybe knew me as a child and said, did I ever, have an injury? Was I ever on crutches? What happened? And as I began to talk to people, certain people said, well, yeah, you've always walked with a limp. I never thought anything different. I just thought that was you. You always walked a little different. But to know a specific answer, I don't have that. And so we had to piece together and try and figure out why at the age of 45, my hip was so damaged that I needed a total hip replacement. see if my mom had maybe talked to me about some things, if she'd maybe told me some things. Even now, I go for routine heart workups because I don't know what caused my mother's heart attack and my grandmother's heart attack. And they were in their 50s. And so I'm very vigilant and I'm very careful, and I have to be very vigilant and careful with my own daughter because she knows the history. We don't know specifics, but she knows the history, but she knows her mother's health history. She knows my health history, even the things that she says, Mommy, I don't need to know that. Mommy, I don't want to know that. I make sure that she knows because there will be a time when she will sit in a doctor's office and they will ask her about her mother. So mothers, on this day after Mother's Day, as we celebrate motherhood and we celebrate the mothers in our lives and the people who have mothered us, I implore you, talk to your daughters about your health history so they can be healthy themselves. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope, as I said, all the mothers have had a wonderful Mother's Day. If you weren't able to celebrate yesterday, every day is a day to celebrate motherhood. I pray that you are all well, that you have had a wonderful day, that you're off to a wonderful week. If this video has blessed you in any way, I ask you to like, to comment, and to share it. Share it with, if you have a sister who has daughters, if you have friends who have daughters, share it with them because this is such an important message and it's so close to my heart. So if this has blessed you in any way, share it, comment. It'll be on my YouTube channel. It'll be on my Facebook page. Thank you for your support once again. And I will be back again to talk about what it's like being a mother. Have a wonderful Monday and have a terrific Tuesday. I will talk with you all soon. God bless.